right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. I'm Michael, your host for 7/21/2018. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. That was a little intro of, again, Great Lakes Naval Station's graduating classes. End of their long boot camp. Just some exclusive footage there, folks. We got Ben coming into the show here in a few. Just again, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, maybe ring the bell, modify that in the manner of how you want to be alerted, how your device would react to you could either, your device will go all crazy on you, or you could have it be silent and just notify you by email or notification at the top. There's several, just getting into all that, so it's kind of interesting, but thanks for joining us. All right, let's see if Ben, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything coming clear. So happy to be on the show today
All
again.
right, I can hear you.
I love the powerful opening. Give the flashbacks of basic. I can remember when I was going through, and you had your graduation march, and you're all going through there, and my mom was the one out of the parents who were there, screaming, "Ah, that's my boy!" Taking pictures and videos, and oh yeah, brings back lots of memories for sure. Any veteran who sees that opening clip will definitely like, oh yeah.
Well, I put a little something in the last one too, so there's lots of appreciative posts. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just highlighting the Navy. All branches are great, equal, but that's the footage I happen to have floating
Oh, that
around
was great. I
my
love it. I
arena.
loved it.
But yeah, the Navy used to have 3 boot camps, we know, like San Diego, Orlando, and Chicago. They're all
Mm.
were shut down, I think, under the Bush or
Wasn't
Clinton.
Pensacola was one of them that was shut
Yeah,
down as well, or something like that in Florida?
I think so. What did I just say? There was Orlando. It was Orlando,
Oh, okay.
I think. Maybe it was Pensacola though. I thought it was Orlando. I think that's where my sister went because it was an
Mm-hmm.
all-female. I'm not sure if anyone knows. Comment
Yeah.
below on that.
Yeah. I think it's all Great Lakes though. Now
But
I
it is
believe
all
it's
just,
that's.
it's the one that's kind of Midwest, and they shut down Diego, and then I believe somewhere in Florida. I'm gonna say Orlando, maybe Pensacola area, but I think it was Orlando. And yeah, we just got Chicago left. So I went to
The
Chicago.
DFAC
Where
was
now,
kids' boot,
you
by the
being in
way.
the Army, where was your boot camp?
I was out in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay.
I called Sand Hill. They call it there. But no, I was going to comment the Great Lakes DFAC training facility. Awesome, great bunch of people, great food, feeding those kids and those kids, I should say, those young soldiers. Uh, I have a little fun experience out there. But little shout out to the Great Lakes DFAC facility guys. You're doing awesome.
Yes, we actually got to eat with the facility there. Just, me and Ben, I went up there a year or two ago and
Mm-hmm.
kind of, talked to the
Got to
management
got to
and
got to break bread with some basically
freshly
what
graduated
fresh
recruits, or
cadets,
at that
recruits.
point
Yeah, oh, yeah,
sailors, we
yeah.
would have to
They're
call them.
sailors. Yep. Okay, there you
So
go.
yes. So we were just gonna talk about a couple of current events, our thoughts on everything. It's kind of a weekend like that.
It's
Where's
been crazy for sure.
QAnon, Q clearance? What's your thoughts on all that, Ben? I know we discussed it a little bit, but
um, you know, I mean, what a poignant and poetic, I guess, last post of Q on the board of Fourth of July, given the the JFK speech of our Declaration of Independence from the King, and super powerful. I mean, you watch that video 2 or 3 times, and it's still, when you read about what he was talking about throwing off the old guards and embracing new for the equality of a new nation that found its sovereignty and is each individual person's right was deemed from the creator, by God and not by a king that you had to serve and worship as God. And I think that was still hits home to me, man. It was that speech is, that he was, was reading or reciting, I should say, of our Declaration of Independence was pretty powerful. And if we're just looking to see what, the president's been doing pretty much since July, what, 6th, 7th, and pretty much on, he's been doing NATO, and then he's been heading over to the UN, or the UN, I should say, and then he's doing Germany, and then they're not Germany, but he was, basically harping on those cats for doing what they're doing, and then he was over to the England area talking to the Queen, which, by the way, they met at Windsor Castle, not at the other castle. Whenever the Queen wants to really impress somebody, they have the meeting at Windsor Castle, not at their other castle. Windsor Castle is for like super high celebrities, where the Queen wants to definitely impress, and so meeting at Checkers down there was a great thing. The the European Union is starting to crumble and starting to fall, and it's coming out within. The UK is breaking away from it come March 14th of next year. They will now have that, and so since the president's been around doing all this kind of stuff crazy, with Hugh not really kind of being kind of quiet and silent. Some say silence is golden. What's happening. I mean, you think about what's happening with the Strzok and the Page, and going through Congress, and how his body language was, and the answers he gave, and the amount of narcissistic ego that these people have when they're being questioned is just it's awe, and it's mind blowing, honestly. So
Well, the
big things
Peter
are
Struck,
happening.
right? We were talking Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where either I thought he was either nuts or that narcissistic, or that, he only did that public speech to appease. I mean, he was already controlled
You were
according to
saying, yeah, he was kind of a
Q-text,
public shaming, if you
power
will.
removed. Yeah, take your public shaming, deliver a
Mm-hmm.
message for us, which is one interesting article that I was going over with, by that cereal brain, breaks down with a Coca-Cola bottle and how he adjusts it, and it's a message to all go back to the uranium one deal. So Trump
Mm-hmm.
just used him. We know you can't say nothing, and you're not going to answer hardly anything. You're going to go there and take the abuse. You deserve it
You're gonna watch
anyway.
him squirm like a fish.
And so one of the two have to make sense, or either it's the other one.
Mm-hmm.
He's just that, you know, brain dead and thinks he's above the law, and narcissistically, and oh, I was biased, but in no way, shape, or form did I allow that bias to come into my
Yeah.
work. Well, they don't even allow
Yeah. These.
judges, jury, people.
Yes.
They
Oh
don't
my
give you that
gosh. A
opportunity. There's
snippet
things
of
put into
biancy, you're
place.
done.
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
minute well, that's my cousin's daughter. Okay, we're not going to let you be the judge over this case. Oh, no, 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 I won't. Keep that in mind when I slam down the mallet. No, we just kind of separate that
Yeah.
and let them go do people they don't know. I mean, that's too
That's
easy.
that's that's well, a due process, man. And we're talking. This is just something that we should be having to. And, another thing is too. What's coming down on a huge level. North Korea's, the denuclearization. I know we were talking about, there was a program, and I don't remember who it was through. If it was through Reagan, where they did, when the Berlin Wall came. I don't know if it was Germany or it was in Russia. They did like a denuclearization where they turned like nuclear to kilowatts. It was like a nuclear kilowatt program that they were denuclearizing. I don't remember if it was Russia or Germany. I think it was Russia, actually. And when the USSR, the actual, the Soviet Union, if you will, fell, where it is now the democratic Soviet state, I guess now. Anyways, and if they're doing that now, basically when they were denuclearizing, they had to basically send all that enriched uranium, which is in the very very top of the nuclear warheads, back to America, because America was the only person they could sell from or sell to, and we got that for energy. So, what you put up here?
Oh, I was just pulling up Trump tweets. I was looking. You said what's going on in the world, or
Mm-hmm. So he's definitely on the rounds talking to people. It's a lot of it's about trade, and a lot of this stuff too. What Q's been talking about has been coming out and questioning. And I kind of have a suspicion that this next round of congressional hearings, if you will, is going to really be bringing out some big stuff because all this really kind of ties in because he kept on saying, well, there's an ongoing thing and I can't really say it. And once that comes out, you're going to be hearing all kinds of crooked Clinton connections and the foundation and who's who, and it's going to be pretty crazy. It comes out. So this stuff is happening really quick, so maybe there's no need for Q to start dropping breadcrumbs because
Well,
now you
yeah.
can just tune into C-SPAN and see everything we've been talking about for the last months now.
Do we want to keep getting just, led in directions to keep? I mean, how much more can there be? I mean, I would hope it'd be dang near. We've seen it. We got it all because how much more angles can we look into? We got all the names, the players, the bad actors. We just need
If we have
to
all the
be loud,
information,
be
and
heard, and hopefully they
hmm
get held accountable, I would imagine.
and Q has also said that hey, we are descending. Put your trays in your upright and fixed positions. It's coming to an end. Like it's we've already talked about this before, but Q even himself or the group or whatever has actually said, no, this is coming to an end. Prepare, get ready, get your popcorn. Okay, this is it. This is all coming to an end, and now it's going to be on, like, I wouldn't say phase two, but like the next stage is it's going to be on the public court systems, which it is now, and where people are seeing what's happening, which is on these congressional hearings, and they're just like myself, just incredibly like, wow, this guy must be so stupid. And what was that old movie, casino movie bit? What was that? Where they
Yeah,
tell you the
either
guy's
you're
too.
you were in on it or you're too stupid to realize it was going on. Either way, you got to go.
And I think that people are realizing that.
All right, let's read a Trump tweet here to see what he's been up to. This one was from what yesterday at 2:50 p.m. I got severely criticized by the fake news media for being too nice to President Putin. In the old days, they'd call that diplomacy. If I was loud and vicious, I would have been criticized for being too tough. Remember they said I was too tough with Chairman Kim? Hypocrites. So that's interesting.
Too tough. Now he's not too tough, and look what's happening. Yeah, it's called diplomacy, but that's one of those dirty little words that they don't that the leftists don't like to use because it denotes that there's actually cooperation versus separation. So yeah,
They had it
that's a
all set
very
up to,
the
they didn't want him to meet with him.
walls have come crumbling down.
All right, here's one. You go ahead and read this one if you can.
The NFL national anthem debate is alive and well again. Can't believe it? Isn't it in contract that players must stand at attention, hand on heart? The $40 million commissioner must now make a stand. First time kneeling out of the game, second time kneeling out of the season, no pay.
Dang, is that what they got? Or is
So
that what
first
he's
time is kneeling, okay, out of the
is
game, okay.
is that what he's recommending? Or is that what it
The
says
debate is
now?
a little bit, I can't believe it. Isn't it in the contract that the players must stand at attention, hand on heart? The $40 million commissioner
Commissioner.
must now make a stand. First time kneeling, out of game. Second time kneeling, out of season, no pay. So now they're like, okay, NFL national anthem debate is alive and well again. Can't believe it. And then so now they're pulling up, hey, this is in the contract. The players must stand at attention, hand on heart. So the $40 million commissioner must now make a stand. So they're saying that I think that's what we even talked about a while ago. Like, isn't that in your contract? Isn't that when you're doing baseball? Isn't it feel like because they're private organizations,
Yeah, it's
and
I would
part of their
imagine.
organization is we are patriotic, so we have the national anthem, and we don't care because that's got to be in their
Well,
race,
people,
creed, or color. This is what we. If you want to play for NFL, I don't care if you come from Africa or the continent of Africa, whatever country within that continent, or
yeah.
or
I just would
wherever we.
assume I've gotten in debates with people too saying like I think the minute the players show up, park a car, get dropped off by limo and cut into the facility, they're on company time for
Yeah,
what they get paid for.
you're now
You're
on company
while you're in
time.
the
Yep.
locker room, because I know the coach comes in, they do a rally and a prayer, whatever they do before the games. They
Hmm.
shoot out to the field. Once you're definitely on the field, it's like you're on company time. You're there to play football.
You
You're there to make it
represent
look good for their
that
advertisements.
organization.
We get,
Hmm.
people get shadow banned on YouTube here for not adly friendly until it gets a couple thousand views, and then they want to say it's okay. And it's like, well, I guess enough. I mean, if you can't say it's not
There's
ad
that
friendly if you
game.
got 20,000 people watching something, and you
Hmm.
can't say that for. But that's already established that it's a good place to put ads. It's patriotic. They got flags, military flyovers. Now all the attention's been on that. Now you got somebody saying, "Oh, I'm going to do something over here at the same time," but it doesn't take away from, it has nothing to do with what you guys are doing, but it kind of does take away.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I would assume you can't do that. It's like at work, if people show up right at 8 o'clock, it's like from 8 to 9 o'clock before you go do your critical computer job to run nuclear reactors, or something that you are going to go do something on the clock and be like, well, no, this isn't, you're saying it's not working and I'm not doing my job. I'm telling you, no, that's not what this is. This is me doing this. And they just try to remake you think your whole structure of thinking. And but honestly, you're not doing what you're probably paid for.
Exactly. And I mean, look at, like, who are let's take the Patriots, the the for instance, that that National Football League club. There is a private individual who owns that football club, that club, and that private individual can do what he or she feels necessary for that asset. The Seattle Seahawks, they got bought and sold, and somebody bought those, and that's like, hey, I bought a new car. Well, hey, I bought another football team. So these are private organizations, and these people are, one, they're patriotic, obviously, and so
Yeah.
part of their, I would say, mission statement as a football club owner, you're going to be like, hey, we're for the fans. Your number one source of income is the fans and sports teams and this and that. And so then you all get together and say, hey, let's all play together. It's called the NFL. So there's a commissioner over there that says, hey, all you guys, and of all the owners, the players don't tell the commissioner or or the owners what to do. That's the most biggest BS that people nowadays think that the players have. Oh, they have all these powers. They should. Are
Well,
you
and people think
serious?
it's
No.
keeping them mute and they can't, you got
Yeah.
the power of this and that, the First Amendment, and we get it, you do, but typically that's all on your own time. I didn't know
Hey,
I
you
could be
can
at
forfeit
work
your
and have the
rights.
power of the first and just scream cuss words or verbally abuse all my coworkers, and you kind
Hmm.
of get fired. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's just to me, it's just a real ridiculous thing.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't. So inconceivable that the government would break into a lawyer's office early in the morning. Almost unheard of. Even more inconceivable that a lawyer would tape a client. Totally unheard of, and perhaps illegal. The good news is that your favorite president did nothing wrong.
Okay, you love the whole facetiousness of the whole, referencing Watergate, referencing wiretapping, referencing all these little,
Well, that was his lawyer. His lawyer got his
mm-hmm.
door kicked in.
Yeah, and his door
Cohen,
kicked
Michael
in,
Cohen.
stuff went through. Yeah,
And
Cohen, there
now
you
they're
go.
saying that, I
Yeah.
think it just came out, and we'll look that up to be sure right here. So
Okay.
that broke this morning or yesterday that this guy finally is saying that he did tape some conversations with Trump. So he possibly had them.
Hmm.
Trump calls Cohen's taping of his phone call inconceivable and
Well,
possibly
that's
illegal.
that's like, isn't it like a devious evil scientist? It's
Well, can't
inconceivable.
you? Don't you? I don't know. Aren't that stuff? Unless you tell somebody, "Hey, you're being recorded," and then they're like, "Fine, I don't care." and now it's like would be good in court.
I know
I
in
don't know how that
certain
works.
states, well, I know like in the New York, it's illegal to record conversations
Without,
unless there's consent.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to have consent. I know in some other states, there may or may not be like that. I just remember New York being one of them because there was one of like I think another fifth Anon 666 thing or something like that we're talking about a while ago that had to do with New York, and there was somebody got taped phone calls and they're like no he gave consent. I think it was that Wolf of Wall Street guy. But anyways, not to diverge too much. Yeah, if you record somebody, depending on where you're at, what the laws are for recording, or you can, like you said, very quickly, oh, by the way, you're being recorded. I don't care, whatever. And then the conversation goes so long, the guy forgets he's being recorded and says something. I don't know, So that's something that's more, I'm assuming, than I don't have factual evidence for it.
Let's
But
listen into a couple seconds of this.
seems kind of, is the sound up a little bit?
Oh yeah, hold on.
Make sure you can hear it. Yeah, make sure that sound is up there. Little CIA shield to the left over there.
Can you hear it?
It still seems kind of low.
You know what? Yeah, it won't come in that
Is
way.
it? You have to actually pull it in the other way. I think that was last time we had an issue, and there was that we were talking or laughing at something, and the audio was still kind of low. But
Let me see here.
oh, you had a little shot of old Hugh Hefner in there, and yeah.
All right, we just won't be in it. Let me see here. Got an ad going on. A little addy.
Addy.
I'm not. All right, here we go.
President Donald Trump on Saturday claiming he did nothing wrong after reports surfaced that his former lawyer Michael Cohen secretly recorded a conversation with him discussing a potential payment to former Playboy model Karen McDougal, who claimed she had an affair with Trump. The conversation was recorded 2 months before the 2016 election. Breaking his silence a day after the report surfaced, Trump said it's, quote, inconceivable that a lawyer would tape a client, adding it's perhaps
Inconceivable.
illegal. The existence of
Very
the recording
illegal.
was first reported by the New York Times, which said the FBI seized the tapes this year during a raid on Cohen's office. Trump's current attorney, Rudy Giuliani, told the Times the payment never happened, and the tape proves Trump did nothing wrong. McDougal says she and Trump carried on a 10-month affair starting in 2006, the same year porn star Stormy Daniels alleged she had an affair with Trump. The alleged payment to McDougal echoes what Daniels said was a similar arrangement she had with Trump. Daniels has filed 2 civil lawsuits against the president. One seeks to get out of a non-disclosure agreement she signed with Michael Cohen before the 2016 election, in exchange for $130,000 to keep the episode secret, while the other is for defamation. This year, McDougal filed a lawsuit to get out of a deal reached in 2016 with AMI, publisher of the National Enquirer, that gave the company...
All right, it's enough of that, I think.
Yes.
Uh,
So yeah,
so
no, breaking into the office and getting stuff and taking it out and tapping, that shouldn't that be dealt with at that, or no, because they didn't
well,
want
when they,
to.
FBI wanted stuff from Hillary, they went and asked for the server or the DNC. And they're like, no, we're going to do it to a private company. And they're like, oh, okay. They didn't kick in doors. When they went to Hillary's one aide that they wanted to question, she's like, well, she's my lawyer. They didn't. They're like, oh, we won't even question her then, since she's your lawyer.
Your lawyer.
I mean, you see all
Oh,
this
okay.
bias.
Wow. Yeah, oh,
Oh, but their
yeah.
bias never, the top officials never allowed
That
that to
doesn't
happen.
interfere with their decision making skills or the capacity, like every other human's bias does.
So we most likely probably know that they are cooperating witnesses, most of these lower mid guys, and even like upwards, like Comey, McCabe, who's removed,
And I think they were saying,
who's
yeah,
ahead of
removed.
them?
And
Who are they taking orders from? How high up did it go?
I tell
How
you
high
what,
up?
man, this is. I think it goes. I mean, I think we all know and wanted to see something to do with Obama, Clinton. We know that some of this stuff needs to be. I think that's how high up it goes. I mean, we know. I think it. There's at that level you can't claim ignorance and stupidity. I was just following orders from my superior. There's got to be a certain level of accountability when you're talking like you're at that level. No, you can't be like, I didn't know, or I can't really hear. That didn't fly anymore. These foot soldiers and people who are at the lower levels who are doing their job, who love America and who are doing the right thing and who want to see America great again and prosperous and safe again. These are the people who were just taking orders. Those are the people who can say, hey, yes, we're not going to, no, for sure. It's the big dogs, but and you got the last little post up there for sure. I like to look there or here.
Yeah, no, it's disinformation is real. Disinformation is necessary. That one still baffles me, but I get it.
Well, I mean that could be then there for the other side, the people who are couldn't be removed from power and or flipped as a informant or a cooperating witness, if you will. You have those people reserved for the special place in Gitmo. Uh, Maybe disinformation to them is necessary. That one as well is kind of, you know, maybe hey, or it's a show. That's what Q keeps on saying or has been said. And so I do like the very last little line though in that little post that he redid the look there or here or there. The truth is behind you. And so I thought that was interesting. What that look here, the little here is. So, but no, there's some good stuff coming out of that, and I think just keep your eyes on what Congress is doing. I think the DOJ is starting to really start to come out a little bit more now. So, I mean, it's an awesome time to be in, and there's no doubt about what's happening right now in our government and in our wouldn't say so much society, but in Western society, because it's like I was there is a real push on this earth to eradicate Western civilization, and when I say Western civilization, I mean you're talking like the idea of freedom of speech and private property and sovereignty. That whole all those ideas is Western civilization ideas, and if America is the last country that's a shining beacon of what true freedom looks like, and I think that's going to be shining really great again for sure, and it is. I mean, even
Well,
this
that's
last
what
year and a half, and what's
if we don't
happening is
have
just
that,
is
we don't have nothing.
because
That's
yeah, what
exactly right. Ben's correct with that whole we are the last freedom front. If we dissolve here, which it looks like it was on a path to get there, we
yes.
would, where would we run to? Everyone's running here now. They'll run again quick as you can call it if it was really
Hmm.
bad here. If it was ruleless, lawless, and just corruption and gangs and the
How many
governments are
countries have free speech?
yes, it's that's what you got to look at, folks. So if you don't stand for I mean, they have said it time and time again. It's starting to repeat itself on the social media sites. The headlines for the major networks are putting Trump's disrupting the global order, and there's like a new word for the new world order almost. That's the
Hmm.
same thing, folks. New world order, global order. Think about that, and they're saying Trump is disrupting it. There's a certain order. What was that order? I mean, you had people over here claim to be the boogeyman, this other guy over here for 30 years
Hmm.
is another boogeyman, and Trump comes in a matter of 2 years, makes things better over here. And if it's not better yet, it's getting there, or it's at least the
Better
appearance of
than what
getting
it
better.
was, for sure.
Handshakes, sounds good, way more than what we've seen with other past administrations anyway. They've kept it at a standstill and nothing. We just need, it was like business as usual, it seemed. So if you don't see that, folks, if everyone's always thought the government, was bad and all, around the world mostly, ours wasn't. It's just, this is somebody that's coming in and doing what's best. What is honestly, it seems like what is best for us, not for themselves. Because a global agenda, if you really thought these people cared, it wouldn't line their pockets then, because there's no way that they would want to make us more desolate and weaker of jobs and just almost like what they're trying to help over there. We've had major cities go down like that. Ben's seen them. I've seen them. Places out in California even, right? Lined with illegals, tent cities, mixture of homeless, maybe. I don't know.
And what you're really talking about is a degradation of our culture, because Germany is having the same problem right now. So you got Germany, right? There are about 80 million people or so that live in Germany right now. That's the Germans, not people who are coming into Germany, but actual native born Germans who have the German culture, the German DNA, mitochondrial DNA, their moms and their fathers. So Germany has been taking on what is considered a sanctuary country, right? They're taking a 500,000 refugee immigrants almost a day, and have been for a very long time. Now, if you just stop and do the math, you just do the simple math on this, you have a country of 80 million people, and you're bringing in 500,000 people a day. They're already, like you've talked about, there's already pockets in Europe, and especially in Germany, because we're looking very closely at Germany right now, that the whole entire city, that area has been supremely taken over by these immigrants. There is lawlessness. I mean, every type of debauchery and vice and crime and evil you can possibly imagine. There's pockets, and the German Polizei will even tell you that they will not go into there unless they have multiple vehicles and backup, because of the fact that there's so many immigrants coming in and they can't handle it. Their social system, you like socialism, their social system, healthcare for everybody, food and everything for everybody, is literally being inundated. And now their school systems are teaching more Sharia law than they were about Germany and this kind of stuff. So literally Germany's culture, their actual culture of building precision machines, agriculture, all this stuff is being lost completely, because now you're going to have more people, more refugees than you actually have people who live there. And that's exactly what we do not want to have happen here in America, because it's happening in France. It's happening in Germany. Spain's having a huge issue. Greece is having a little bit of an issue. But you look at these northern European countries that are predominantly white. They're not saying they're having issues. Look at, what is it? Was it Finland? Is it Finland who's having a huge issue?
And if this is all man-made, that's the whole point of this Patriot Hour and what we're doing here. If it's all man-made, if the wars are, and we know they're man-made because it takes a man to make it happen, and so they are man-made, but deliberate. You're going over and upsetting areas of people. You're doing it here, steadily doing it, and at the same time, you're creating refugees to get displaced all over. Kids come up missing in that whole bedaffle. So is it, is it all leading? And is this what Trump's trying to stop on the bigger picture? It's just unnecessary chaos created on purpose, and we just all want it to stop. Is that the bigger picture here? and we hope so. That's where I'm hoping
Yes.
it's leading to. The refugee, and then they play on your heartstrings. It's like in the last administration, Obama and Hillary up on stage, and it's not real Christian of you to not take in these refugees, but they created that over there. They armed the equivalent of thugs in the streets, what we have here, gangsters, gang members, gave them guns, said take out your leader, help do that, and then the leader gets down, and then they bring in somebody, and the people revolted that and took to the streets. War started, and now you got to pull out all the people, or half the people that want to leave. None of them really want to leave, but they're forced. I mean, they created
and the
that.
bottom,
Sick.
and like you were, it is extremely sick, and these are the type of people that Q has been talking about, and so is Trump, about draining the swamp. And because all these people that we have, these high up deep state evil position, or evil people in these positions in our American government, were aware of all of this evil seedy dealings. And you look at the trade stuff, like what's happening, of how much money we've been supporting the UN's military efforts by some numbers. Trump, according to Trump, it's 90%, 4% of our GDP, which is, hey, we have one of the largest GDPs besides, Russia and China. So 4% of our GDP is quite huge, of 2% of somebody else's GDP of, we got 250 million, they've got 80 million. We got a little bit more people, so it's almost like, it's insane about how much America has been bled. And it's almost like, I remember in the desert, when you get an animal that's dying in the desert, and you get these coyotes, and I'm talking about the southwestern part of America, when you get this dying animal dying in the desert, you get the coyotes to start picking at the bones even when they're still alive, and trying to eat them when they're still alive, because they don't have the effort to fight back, and eventually that animal is going to die. And that desert, and all the animals in that desert will claim that entire body, a carcass of that animal, to only the dry bones are left to basically be bleached in the sun. And that's what's been happening to America when it came to the past regimes, I want to call them. And those are the puppets that were put into place. And I can't believe that. I want to go to the store, and I want to find oranges from Florida, not from Peru, not from South America, South Africa. I want to get my blueberries from, Illinois and Ohio. That's where I want to get my food from. I don't want to get my bananas from the Dominican Republic. I want to save it here. And it's like
all these years of sugar.
Yes.
Sugar.
All the sugar. Oh my gosh, that's even a whole other rabbit hole to go down.
For sure. No, we're at the 40-minute mark. We'll wrap it up here. That was Ben, folks. He's back. He's looks like his issues on the technical were all worked out. It's sounding good. We didn't have one issue this time, so that's great news for the Patriot Hour, and for him be able to get on a lot more when he can't be physically in the studio. So you got any final closing words?
I just appreciate having me on the show. It's just amazing how much your subscribers have been just celebrating the truth with us, and some of the stuff that's coming out is just some really amazing stuff, and some interesting different other side rabbit holes to go down. But nevertheless, man, it's just an honor to be with the Patriot Hour and do what you guys are doing, and it's exciting to see what the future holds for this channel, and lots of new stuff coming out for sure. So super excited, and thank you for having me on today.
Oh yes. All right, folks, that was Ben, and he'll be back. He'll be back on real soon, as much as we can get him on. Same with Scott and Dustin, maybe Nate in the future, and we got maybe possibly, and I'm pretty sure, special guest tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday edition of the Patriot Hour, so make sure you turn into that. All right, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. If you're still sticking around here watching, we're going to close it out with the last little part of the video that we started with. So thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. We love the comment section. It's a great collective tool for everyone to look around and get pointed off in different directions. Remember, Don't take anything we say here today as fact. Listen to as many people as possible, read everything you can, and believe none of it until you can verify it. All right, we'll see you back here real soon on the next update. God bless, Godspeed, and have a great evening.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.